Hi guys, I am Joey Vigour.
And I'm Jeff Siadek.
And we are indie board game publishers.
Yes, we are.
So everyone wants to make something, and a lot of people ask about how do I make a game and how do I sell it to a publisher and stuff like that. It's great to sell it to a publisher, but it's really hard. You won't get as much money sometimes, and it takes a couple years of development, and they don't really focus on it. You're not the center of attention. So it seems that all you have to do is publish it yourself.
Yeah, then you get all the money.
You get all the money, all the fame, all the fortune, and much more importantly, a problem-free process since you're a complete noob to the industry. Yeah. So let's go way back to 1992. Was Total War your first published game?
So Total War and Pantheon were my first published games for Gamesmiths. And we ganged them together so we could save money, which was smart. And during the printing process, there was the brochure, which the printer reversed the blue and the yellow plates so that the brochure ended up this weird, like puke-colored color. It doesn't make sense to let your face, the face of your game, look like hell.
So the question, of course, would be why don't you just have them reprint it?
Yes, that's the answer. We are about 25 years too late for that, but yes, that would have been the right thing to do.
Yeah. So I guess this video is more about printing problems, because I was going to bring up throwing stones, which was probably the first dice building.
The first ever collectible dice game, Throwing Stones. We beat Dragon Dice to market by a couple of months. And Throwing Stones was great, but the dice, they were painted on, and we used this metallic fleck paint, which was really cool, but the metallic fleck tended to catch on things.
It tended to fleck.
So it would rub off. So I would have, when I was doing the demos, this is in 95 or 96, I was doing demos, people would shake the dice, and they'd shake them, and if they shook them too much, the dice would just be blank when they threw them. I had this, in my initial order, I had one company in Florida order almost 90% of my run. So I ordered a reprint, and then shipped off 90% of my stuff to Florida, and then the reprint came in, and then the stuff from Florida came back because the people in Florida said, "What's this? You sent us all this product." And I said, "That's how much you ordered." And they said, "Oh, well, because of allotment, we assumed that you only get 10% of what you order, so we ordered 10 times as much as we wanted." So I said, "Well, I
don't know what allotment is, but that sounds horrible."
Well, it was when Magic the Gathering was so popular that they would tell stores, "We're only going to sell you 10% of what you ordered." And so stores would order 10 times as much as they wanted, so they'd get the right amount.
Yeah.
Anyway, the returns came back from Florida. I said I didn't want them. They said, "Well, we're not going to pay you for them," and they sent them back. They arrived right about the same time that the second printing arrived, so I ended up with almost twice as much product as I wanted, as I really needed, because the other thing I was dropping the ball on was marketing at that time. So
at that time?
Yes, at that time.
That's the only time?
That's the one time in my career that I had marketing troubles. Oh yeah, World Conquerors. So this is one where I told my printer I needed 4 different colored pawns and 4 different colored armies, because in World Conquerors you've got pawns to represent your generals and your rulers, and you've got these cubes to represent your armies. So, not thinking I needed to specify that those need to be the same color. So I got black, yellow, blue, and red for pawns, and black, yellow, blue, and green for cubes. So they didn't match up, so you didn't have pawns that matched the colors inside. Fortunately, they were able to send me replacements, and I only had a short run before they sent the rest of it, and we got it solved.
What about Lifeboat? Wasn't Lifeboat your most popular game? I'm sure there's problems with Lifeboat.
Well, Lifeboat, in my initial print run, we were putting it in this box so it had a nice face, as you could see the cover on the face, and it was great. But that split the deck into 2 bits, and when you put them down into the box, they would shuffle together, and it was just terrible, and people hated it. With the love and hate cards, that sometimes the colors, because this is kind of purple, it, from one end of the print run to the other, even on the same press, that the color saturation will be brighter towards the beginning and then darker towards the end, which is fine if all the cards are from the same
approximate
right.
run, yeah.
But if you get cards that are sorted from different ends of the print run, which we printed our expansion, Cannibalism, at the same time. Yeah. So what would happen is if you put the 2 cards next to each other, you'd say, "Oh, that one's darker and that one's lighter." If they're across the table, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I've had that problem where I make promo cards from one printer for conventions and stuff like that, but then the promo card, it matches exactly the sample that I sent to the manufacturer of the promo card. Well, that sample might have been from the beginning of the run where the colors of the ink is really vibrant and saturated, or it might be from the end. So essentially 80% of the people getting the promo card, if they were to look at it, they'd be like, okay, this doesn't really match.
My game Palaces, which I love, and I'm really excited about, and it is really coming out. And we have had every problem I could have imagined on it. From starting with my initial idea for the game was it's about building things. So I thought brick and stone and wood and what have you. And I brought in an art director, and he was doing a great job with it. But the game looked not pretty. So I was out without that art director. So my friend took over as the art director. But in the ensuing 2 years, she moved to Dallas, and then Florida, and then back to Dallas. So they had troubles matching the colors on the and molding the pieces for Palaces. They also had troubles with Chinese New Year, delayed them a couple of times, which takes a couple of years to do that. They also had the Chinese government shut down their region because the air quality was so bad, so all production was shut down in their region.
Yeah, this is all verified by you, I'm sure.
I don't know. And then the one time, they were quiet for about a month and a half, 2 months, and I was really worried, and I was starting to send angry emails, which is my strong suit, is sending angry emails.
Right.
Because it's not like I'm going to fly to China and say, hey, I'm suing you. So anyway, it turns out that my rep there had a baby, and she said that she wasn't supposed to tell me that she was having a baby because she didn't want to somehow, some sort of bad business practice.
Right, so radio silence is better.
Yes,
I guess.
I actually got samples. I had them sent to Essen, and I showed them off at Essen, and they look great. And then when I said, okay, I need the rest of my games now, and they said, oh, we're very sorry, we had a warehouse fire. All of our workers are okay, but we need to start over on the project. And by the way, we really, I'm going to try to directly quote, I wish with all my heart not to print this card again.
I wish with all
my heart not to print this card again.
That brings us to the end out of our unwatchable, extremely long video, but anyone who's interested in manufacturing or being a publisher, this is the kind of stuff you're going to have to deal with. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of details, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to mess up a lot.
That's not all the problems, but that's all the problems that we felt like talking about now.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one.